We tend to think of the 1789 French Revolution as the definitive victory for democracy. But it didn't actually end with liberty and equality. It ended with an internationally mandated reset. By 1814, after Napoleon's final military defeats, the victorious European powers forced France to accept a bitter pill: the return of the old Bourbon monarchy. 10 years later, King Charles X took the throne, and he arrived with a specific mission to rewind the clock on decades of political progress. He stripped away civil liberties, restored power to the Catholic Church, compensated nobles who had fled during the Revolution, and crushed the free press. He dressed and governed like a true absolute monarch. But the French public had already tasted freedom. A generation raised on revolutionary ideals flatly refused to live under an archaic autocracy. By dragging the political apparatus to the conservative right, the monarchy created immense, unsustainable societal tension. It was a setup for a violent snapback. That snap happened in July 1830, when Charles dissolved the Chamber of Deputies to cement his control. The streets of Paris erupted. Factory workers, students, and merchants grabbed weapons and fought together behind the tricolor flag. Within 3 days, the violence forced the king to abdicate and flee. The dust settled and a new government was formed. This July monarchy was a political compromise, placing a slightly more liberal king on the throne. Yet this new system contained a fatal flaw. It heavily favored wealthy elites and landowners, while the growing working class remained trapped in poverty. Simply swapping out an absolute monarch for a slightly more tolerable one didn't solve the core inequality. It merely paused the revolution. 18 years later, when the elite government tried to ban political gatherings, that pause ended. Citizens were once again tearing up the streets to build barricades. The July monarchy collapsed. The king abdicated, and a provisional government declared the birth of the Second French Republic. But the moment that republic was declared, a dangerous fracture emerged inside the new leadership at the Hôtel de Ville. The coalition was split. Moderate Republicans were satisfied with achieving voting rights, but radical socialists demanded deep economic changes, including the right to work and the abolition of private property. A republic cannot survive when its founding factions have incompatible definitions of what it means to be free. To appease the socialist demands, the government created national workshops, a public works program designed to guarantee employment for thousands of jobless citizens. The program was an economic failure. Unable to find meaningful tasks for everyone, the state ended up paying men a meager daily wage just to dig useless trenches and fill them back in. Recognizing the impending bankruptcy, the government abruptly shut down the workshops in June of 1848. The reaction was immediate, setting off a massive working-class revolt. What followed were the June Days, 3 days of vicious class warfare playing out across the neighborhoods of eastern Paris. The government ordered the military, led by General Cavaignac, to clear the barricades. They did so with overwhelming force, brutally crushing the socialist uprising. The psychological damage was severe. The violence left the middle class and rural farmers terrified of a socialist takeover. The terror of the June Days caused the political pendulum to swing back to the right. The French public was no longer focused on liberty. They were hungry for a strong man to restore order. They used their new democratic voting rights to find that strong man, overwhelmingly electing Louis Napoleon Bonaparte as president. But the Republic's constitution had a strict rule. The president was limited to a single 4-year term. Unwilling to step down, Louis Napoleon orchestrated a bloodless coup in December 1852, dismantling the republic he was elected to lead. He soon abandoned the title of president entirely, crowning himself Emperor Napoleon III and launching the Second French Empire. This authoritarian regime held a tight grip on France for almost 2 decades, ultimately collapsing during the disastrous Franco-Prussian War in 1870. Look at the historical irony here. France spent decades fighting on the barricades to overthrow monarchs, only to turn around and democratically elect a new emperor. After 60 years of violent swings and economic instability, the French public had reached a breaking point. They hadn't just elected a Napoleon. They had decided that a stable empire was a better bargain than a volatile republic.